Alright everyone, it is Dokkan time again, and today's how to build video is going to be for the new sub-EZA base Broly. Or at least that's what I'm calling him, base Broly. Dragon Ball Super base Broly. Anyways, so we're going to be going through the breakdown of the hidden potential, role tips, and etc. for this guy. If you're new to the channel, basically what I do here is I make Dragon Ball based videos. Currently the primary focus is Dokkan Battle, but pretty soon it's going to be the new Dragon Ball Squadra game, the MOBA. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. I am an official creator for it. Okay, enough gloating. So, if that sounds all good to you, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Also, hit the hype button if you're hype enough. I don't know if Base Broly's hype enough to be hitting the hype button, but you know, hype. Anyways, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So, at the current time of recording, Dokkan Info, which is the primary website that I do use to go through my breakdowns, does not have the data download because the data download has not hit and will not hit until 1 a.m., which is when everything, well, hits. So, we're just going to go ahead and go over to the Twitter website where we have the information for him. Alright, so starting off with Broly's leader skill. His leader skill has been buffed from 130 to 150, so he is now a movie boss key plus 3 HP attack and defense of 150 leader skill. Nice to have kind of for ultimate class and so forth. Now, his basic effects are as follows. Key plus 1 attack and defense of 260%. Attacks effective against all types. Rainbow change key spheres except for STR to rainbow, so rainbow orb changer. Super nice to have. When attacking with 12 or more key attack and defense of 160, damage reduction rate of 40%. With 2 or more key spheres obtained, defense plus 100% and damage reduction rate of 20%. Yes, he has 60% damage reduction so long as you get 2 key spheres. Disables the enemy's guard. Very low-key, underrated ability right now. When attacking with 6 or more key spheres, attack plus 100% and launches an additional super attack. So as long as you get 6 or more key spheres with this guy, he will get a free additional super. This is probably the hardest thing about this Broly, is to get 6 or more key spheres, as I don't currently feel like he should be staying on rotation. And when you're going through putting him into slot 3, it's kind of hard to make sure that he gets 6 key spheres, so a little bit of key management is probably going to be required for him. Now, if the target enemy's HP is 80% or less when attacking, attack and defense of 50% and 50% chance to critical. So, it's not hard to get the enemy down to 80% HP or less. In fact, I think whoever's in slot 1 will probably do that for him. I don't see that as too much of an issue, so I just, like, innately feel like he always has 50% damage reduction. If the target enemy's HP is 50% or less when attacking now, he'll get another additional super attack, and attack and defense of 50%. So this is the part where I do feel like this is kind of a maybe could happen scenario. I think it's very unlikely, and this is part of the reason why I feel like he's more of a floating unit, because there's going to be times where you're in boss fights where if they're not below 50% HP, he's not guaranteed triple supering. It could be very detrimental to his defense, which we'll be going into after this. Now, he also does have a very weird and interesting ability here of, after delivering a final blow, fully recovers HP at the end of the turn. It's not a set amount of recovery, no, it is just a full HP recovery at the end of the turn for dealing a final blow. Very nice, very unlikely, but very nice ability to have. I actually think that's kind of underrated, and it's a good support ability for him. So I do kind of feel like he's almost a supportive unit. He's not doing too much damage. His damage is going to range around the 20 million marker, probably closer to 17, 18 mil if you don't have him at rainbowed on a 220 team with links going off. And speaking of teams, you know, I do think that he does have a couple good team options, though it's very odd that he doesn't really have that many categories. He actually only has 4 categories. But gifted warriors and movie bosses have all been getting consistent buffs within literally the last year. You have the AGL Gogeta leader option. You have the Tech Golden Frieza Gogeta option. You have the LR AGL Broly, Scouter Vegeta. He is only 170 on the Daima Vegeta team. but still, Gifted Warriors has been getting consistent buffs, and it does give him quite a few options as far as teams go. But yeah, he does only have 4 teams in total. Good teams, of course, you know, movie bosses, pure Saiyans, Gifted Warriors, super bosses. These are all very relevant-esque teams right now. I say esque because super bosses and movie bosses are actually very hyper-focused in one specific area, typically. So, but I digress. Now, as far as his link partners, I mean, you're obviously just going to be going with other Broly's. There's no really other options here. I do kind of wish there was some other options, and unfortunately, he's not even a part of the new LR Wrathful Broly's team, which is very weird, but, you know, what can you do? Otherwise, these two would be a very nice, great partner. As far as, like, putting them on a team together, you know, I guess the Gogeta Golden Frieza team would probably be their best spot together. So, otherwise, I mean, he probably will link up with some decent other Saiyans, such as Vegetas and, actually, yeah, that's probably about it. Broly's and Vegetas are probably going to be the best link partners. I actually do look forward to the day this Vegeta gets an EZA, because then that's going to be pretty nice. But, anyways. Now, let's just go ahead and move on to the defense numbers. Alright, these defense numbers are going to be compliments of Blood Raven over on Twitter. I'm just going to go straight over to his maximum numbers, meaning you're keeping in mind that you're going to get him an average 40% support, 6 orbs. The enemy's HP is going to be below 50% HP, and you're at least going to have prepared for Battle Linked. Now, keep in mind he has Saiyan Lineage and Shocking Speed also as Link, so you could be getting his defense a little bit higher here. If you manage to quad super, you potentially could get him to around 3 million defense if he quad supers. This means you have to get your 6 key spheres, the enemy below 50% HP. That is when you will hit that margin of triple super area being at 2.5 million. He does have 60% damage reduction. The real kind of rolling the dice moment is the additional, your hidden potential. The hidden potential additional is where you're going to be potentially struggling. So, on average, I would expect, even at Rainbow, to only assume he's going to have 2.5 million defense. Now, you could potentially give him like a level 7 defense orb. I will tell you the level 7 defense orb will only give you about roughly 50k defense, which would only put you around the 2.6, maybe 2.7. It really just depends on you know, amount of support and henceforth and so forth. But I wouldn't always expect him to be anywhere at the 3 million point, especially if you're missing dupes. Short of this guy being rainbowed, I do feel like he is definitely dupe dependent at this point. 60% damage reduction is nice, but it would be nicer with guard or just more defense. 60% damage reduction doesn't go as far as it used to, unfortunately, when we have fights that are doing 9, 10, 12, 16 plus million damage. All of these types of fights this Broly will not be doing good in. So, let's just go ahead and actually go right ahead and go into the builds. Alright, so at the top on the right side of the screen here, top right hand corner of the screen, you can see that this is a 55% suggestion first and foremost. So at base Broly level, I honestly suggest you just give him infinite equips. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, please do understand this is why I have this here, infinite equip, so that you can re-equip orbs. Because I think it is mandatory to be using infinite equips, especially on lesser units like this. Anyways. At 55%, you don't really have any other options. A level 7 additional isn't going to do much. Dodge is not going to save you. So, yeah. I mean, it could save you, but 3%, man. Anyways, I just feel like if you have him only at 55% and you have to use him, you might as well try to utilize him for what he already is and just capitalize on what he has. So, he's an STR unit, starts off a level 5 crit. Just give him more crit, because at 55%, you're already only having the 50% chance to crit, and that's if the enemy is below 80% HP, which isn't going to always be at that point. So, this is just base 55% choices. Now, Moving into the 69%, which would be the bottom right-hand corner path first. Always, if you get a dupe, go bottom right first. I would highly suggest you go full additional. So level 9 with 3 out of 4 of the nodes. And then on your final node, you need to make a choice. You either need to be putting the rest into crit, or you need to put the rest into dodge. Both would actually be very relevant and would be totally fine for the unit. I don't see an issue of giving him more crit or just the rest into dodge. He does have a 50% chance to crit. That's a 50-50 shot. You know, to critical. He's not doing crazy loads of damage, but he's not doing no damage either. And he isn't, like, invincible, but he does have 60% damage reduction. And, you know, with a quad super getting up to 3 million defense, he is tanking a good 7-8 million roughly, as far as damage goes, and definitely 6 million. So a dodge isn't always necessary, but in these new tougher fights, if you're really going to be taking him into these new stuff, which I wouldn't 100% suggest, you could just go ahead and default to dodge. It's just a very low odds, you know. But with that being said, we're going to move into his 2 dupes and above build. Now, I will warn you, the 2 dupes and above build is rough, and I do apologize if you don't like it. Just, you know, always remember, and please don't make me tap the sign. It is only a suggestion. All right, it's only a suggestion. So, anyways. So as far as his rainbow 2 dupe and above build goes, I do once again suggest going full in on the additional. So naturally you can be at a level 15 additional with a gold level 5 additional and silver level 5 additional. Get that additional all the way up to 25. Now, once again, you need to either go into crit or dodge. This is not, I'm not saying use a dual orb. I'm saying either one in this case. So pick. Go put the rest into crit or put the rest into dodge. That's why this or is here. Or. Not both. Or. So, you can either be at level 11 naturally in crit, and with a level 2 bronze crit, you can go up to level 13, or you can go at a level 6 naturally in dodge, and then give him a level 2 dodge bronze, and put him at level 8 dodge. So, it's an either-or situation here with the bronze orbs along with your leftovers here, but regardless of your stance on which way you want to go, I do feel like additional is the only way to really capitalize on what this Broly can do effectively on defending, damage-wise, and supporting. Putting dodge into him I don't feel isn't 100% necessary, but it's not unnecessary. It's all totally based on player preference for this guy. This is one of the very few times I ever have to do this. I don't usually go this deep, especially for a sub EZA. But he's just that middle ground to the point of where it's all player preference, really. So, let's go ahead and just go into the final part of the video, which is going to be the roll tips. Now, as far as roll tips wise, I do kind of think he is a support unit. He's got the rainbow orb change. He's fully recovering HP on a final blow. You know, that alone with having okay damage and okay defense, he's kind of a jack of all trades in all honesty, but he also doesn't have too many team options, and honestly the rainbow orb changing is more valuable than most of the rest of what he can do, in my opinion anyways. Now leaders wise, I do suggest kind of AGL Gogeta or the Tech Golden Frieza Gogeta. Those would probably be the 2 actually best teams to place him on. These other teams like Super Boss's Rose, I don't feel is a good choice, but it is an option. I don't feel is a good choice because he doesn't have big bad bosses. Scouter Vegeta is really just, you know, it's one of his only other leader options, and same thing with this Tech Broly. Very much aged, but is definitely an option. Partner-wise, all Brolys. Just straight up. I don't think I have to explain that. All of his links are surrounding Broly. And then there's a random Gohan in there just because there are several other links that he could be linking up with Gohan. Actually, I'm thinking about it. I might have left that over in there when I shouldn't have. Yeah, I don't know if Gohan should be in there. Should Gohan be in there? Did I leave Gohan in there? Hold on a sec. Okay, I don't know if I'd necessarily suggest Gohan. I think I left this in there by accident from copy-pasting too much from the LR STR Broly. But I guess it's not terrible. You know, he's got shocking speed and prepared for battle. Yeah, it's not terrible. They are sharing... Not really any, actually. Yeah, I need to fix that. Hold on. My apologies. I had to fix that. There was absolutely no reason for that. Okay. So, let's get into the final part of the video. Yeah, no. Error. I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's been a late night. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is like my third or fourth attempt at recording this video. And, I'm not gonna re-record it. So. I'm sorry. Anyways. I appreciate anybody that watched through all this insanity. Please do let me know what you decided to do for his hidden potential build. What teams are you going to go ahead and run him on? I'm very curious. Please do go ahead and comment below and like and subscribe. Don't hit the hype button though, because this was not hype. So appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.